he was talking about Atlanteans, he called them the Sea Kings. So when Adriano Forgione, the publisher of Phoenix magazine in Rome, got this translation from Professor Raso, he went to the area of Professor Toloni, and he found definitely the stone circle, looking like Stonehenge, but much smaller. He found the ancient elephant statue, very much damaged already through the weather. That means it must be very, very old, but you could see on the photos that it was not an elephant, not a mammoth, it was definitely a mastodont. That means it must be very, very old. And with ground-penetrate radar, they found also a huge underground tunnel, but still the Italian government did not give the allowance to dig there. So that means if this language would not be able to translate, how could he find upon the translation the stone circle, the mastodon statue, and the underground tunnel system? So it proves that this language is translatable. But in every country, those pieces are modern frauds. They are not accepted by the official archaeologists. And again, many of the artifacts are showing always the sun and the same writing. Now we are going to the story of the giants, the legend of the giants. This skull was found in Peru, and here is a model how this person must have looked like. That also, this is the original skull, and this is a model. These skulls, this photo is from early 20th century. It was done in Malta, Mediterranean, and the skulls were shown until 1968, and then they disappeared. And again, Adriano Forgione, the publisher of Phoenix magazine, went with the Italian television Rai 2 to Malta, and they contacted the ministry, and they got the allowance to film and photograph the skull plates. But the first information at the museum was, we don't have them. And Adriano showed them the old photo. Then they said, okay, we have to look in our storage. And next day, they brought the skull, top of the skulls. And you can see it's much larger than a normal skull. And the strange thing on these skull plates is that they have only one line over the middle of the skull. That means, again, it is not a Homo sapiens sapien, and it would be also interesting if we could get the allowance to do a DNA and age dating on these skulls. But it remembers me on the Egyptian pharaoh skulls, because they are going to the back. You can deform a skull, but if you deform a skull, the skull is getting up. But you cannot deform a skull to the back, because you must close the fontanella. That means that the baby would die. Here you see it perfect. We have 3 stone plates, and these skulls, they have only one bone line over the skull. This is a so-called deformed skull from Ica, Peru, from the Maria Reiche Museum. That's another one. But you do not see the deforming, the deformation artificially. And this, many of the specialists, doctors, university professors, they told me, this is impossible, a deformed skull, because through deformation, you cannot create the double of bone material. And this skull even has hair on top. That means it would be very easy to do a DNA analysis and an age dating, and I also do not think that this skull is a Homo sapiens sapien. Look at those strange skulls. And they were all found very close to the famous Nazca lines in Peru. Here we go to the story of the giants. This is a footstep from South Africa. This is Professor James Hertag, a famous researcher, and he did a real good research, and also other scientists, and they say this is not human done, it is not natural, it is a real footstep. But here you see a normal human. I show you later some bones of a 7.6 human skeleton from Ecuador, and up to 10 meters, Professor Muldashev reported me from Tibet. This would be the shoe size of this giant. It would be number 177. It was 130 centimeters long. These three footsteps, the Russian eye doctor and researcher Professor Muldashev went to northern Syria because he got the information of three giant footsteps, where of course the official archaeologists are saying this is human done for some kind of ceremony. So he went there with 5 different scientists, archaeologists, geologists, anthropologists, ethnologists, and they did a check on those 3 footsteps. They put even water inside to check if you go with 2 foot inside a weak material and you make a step ahead and you want to go back out of it, you have to put your weight on the heel, and you can see here that it is perfect done. So they took also some material from this so-called stone with them, and they did in Russia a material check, and it was definitely cement. Here you can see how big this footstep was. Also, they did a measurement, and they said this human must have been at least between 6 and 7 meters. Here you have bones. They were found 1964 in a small valley in Ecuador. There was a part of a mountain breaking down and some broken bones were shown off. So the people there were very anxious, and they called Father Carlos Vaca. He was working in hospitals, and he knew how human bones are looking like, and he saw that these were human bones, and the measurement gave him the size of 7.6 meter. This bone I got from his family, and we did a research in Vienna, and it's definitely part of a human heel bone, but the specialists told me, yeah, but it looks exactly like a human heel bone, and it can be only a human heel bone, but it's impossible. I said, why? They said, because it's 5 times bigger than ours. It would be at least 7.5 meters. This is the other side. This is a part of the nose bone, and this is so-called os occipitale, which is under our skull, is usually this size, and the one we brought from Ecuador is at least exactly 5 times bigger. And there exists reports from ancient history, from Chiesa de Leon, from 1573. He wrote, "Today we found at the coast of Esmeralda several human skeletons, and they were 5 times taller than we." That means the people at this time, they were about 150 centimeters. If you multiply 5 times, you have 7.5 meters. Then we found these eggs in a museum. It is called ceremonial eggs, but you can see even here where it was roped. And it is 70 centimeters, granite, very heavy. And again, we did the measurement with an existing normal stone eggs, and 5 times taller, you are again exactly at 70 centimeters. That's another very big stone eggs from Ecuador. The next photos are showing 2.6 meter skeletons from Utah, United States. And here we have the crystal skulls. This one was found in Guatemala, and we did a research in Vienna with Dr. Distelberger, the expert who checked us also the genetical disc. And after several hours, he told me it was done with a very sharp instrument out of the block in a raw form. Then it was done with quartz sand, because he could find some scratches on the skull. And then he said he thinks that they polished it with leather, which must have taken also a long, long time. And then he said, I cannot say how old this skull is, because the crystal itself is millions of years, but I can say this skull must have been long, long time under the earth, because here he could find some corrosion, and he said this corrosion does not come not earlier than 500–600 years, but I think it's even older. So that means that this crystal skull is a really old Mayan crystal skull. This one is from Peru. This is a Mongolian skull, and when I had it on display in Switzerland, Nina, a Russian shaman, came, and it was the 11th of November 2004, and she got from this Mongolian crystal skull the information: in a few days a big wave will kill hundreds of thousands of people. And you know that on 26th of December the big tsunami in Asia happened. So I have to say, I did not believe in many things, especially when I heard esoteric things. I said, oh, leave me alone, esoteric people, they all dreaming and so. But in the last 10 years, I changed a lot, because I had experienced that many times my hair was just going up like this. And I know that there are many things between heaven and earth which we do not know, but many of you, I'm quite sure you know. I don't know. I just show the pieces. That's from Ukraine, that's from northern Italy, that's from China. And I would end my speech with Rodin's Thinker, and this one is from Acambaro, a thinker around 4,000 years old, and this one is a thinker from Ecuador, about 2,000 years old. And that's what I have to say. I cannot give you an answer. I just showed you and explained you some things, but now I give you the chance. You can think about it, what you saw, and you can make your own mind. There is no really answer until these days. Thank you very much.